You're listening to Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak. This week, the final round of the Women's Musical Club of Winnipeg McClellan competition for solo performance takes place at Jubilee Auditorium. 3 finalists perform alongside maestro Daniel Raiskin and the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. And this morning, I'm joined by one of them, violinist Gregory Lewis. Welcome back to Classic 107, Greg.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I should say, welcome back to Winnipeg.
Thank you. It's so nice to be back. It feels like returning home each time that I come visit Winnipeg. It's really nice.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that. Now, unlike the other 2 finalists, you weren't born here. Your hometown is Thunder Bay, but you did spend some pretty formative years completing your undergraduate degree at the University of Manitoba. Tell us a little bit more about how it feels to be back here in the city of Winnipeg.
Oh, it's really nice. I built a really great community while I was here of friends and colleagues, and of course, teachers and mentors when I was here doing my undergraduate degree. So even though my visit this time, it's only 3.5, 4 days, it's so nice just to fit in lots of visits with friends and get to see people again. So it's really nice. And tonight I'm going to have the chance to see some of my mentors from University of Manitoba. Last night I saw some friends from undergrad. It's really nice to be back.
Oh, I'm so glad that you're keeping those connections up too. I remember when you arrived at the Faculty of Music. I was there. I was finishing up, and you were a fresh-faced 16-year-old with musical talent and drive to burn. And you completed that undergraduate degree back in 2017. You've since done a master's. You're now in the midst of doctoral degree at the Ivy League Yale University. And what you're 25 now? Is that right?
Yeah, I'm 25.
So, Greg, you're working at this breakneck speed. I got to ask, and I wish there was a more delicate way of asking it, but what gives, man? What keeps you going?
I don't know. I think it's just the love for the music. Like, I knew from a really, really young age that this was something I wanted to do. Like, a lot of kids start music because their parents sign them up and they think it'll be good for them. But I just, from a really young age, wanted to play violin and knew it was what I wanted to do with my life. So I think that's what's given me the drive to just keep going. And I've loved it all along the way. Like, it's just been so much fun for me, and I love the people you meet along the way, the experiences. So yeah, that keeps me going.
Yeah, the love of music is certainly a very sustaining thing, but I imagine it's also a very draining thing to keep that hustle going. Like, you have to have this drive to really craft and find your spot in a music career. So let me ask you the flip side of that question then. Does it ever get tiring, or does that love really sustain you through this entire wild ride that you've been on?
It definitely gets tiring.
Yeah.
I've found better balance with this in recent years, where I purposefully set aside, 5 days here, a week there, just to not touch my instrument, just like put a hold in the calendar, and like it doesn't really matter, like unless it's like Berlin Philharmonic kind of thing. Like, I'm not going to do anything that week. And just allow myself periods of rest, because I definitely have noticed as I've gotten older that the burnout does happen. Of course, it does to everybody. So just being intentional about finding moments of rest has been important.
Well, speaking of finding moments of rest and other moments away from music, you also found some time to get married. Is that right?
I did. Yeah, I got married last August.
Well, congrats on that. That's got to be really exciting. And I
Thank you.
think, as I understand things, it was a very sort of musical wedding, but you didn't play any music yourself at your wedding, right? That was a break for you, just to confirm.
Yeah, neither of us played at the wedding, my wife and I. For both of us, we just wanted a day to be with family and friends and just celebrate. And a lot of people, like all of our family and friends on both sides, were like, "Are you guys going to play together? Like, it would be so cute and romantic." And we are like, "Yeah, but we just want to be people for one day, like like it's our job, we don't want to bust out our work at our wedding." So we just enjoyed the day.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah.
So getting back around to the idea of music, you're here in Winnipeg to perform in this year's WMC McLellan competition finals. It's something you did back in 2016 as well. You're a repeat finalist. You won second prize then. What do you remember about that performance 6 years ago?
I had such an incredible time. The Winnipeg Symphony is such a great orchestra. I have a lot of mentors in the orchestra. One of the members of the violin section is Anstey. He taught me for 4 months, and I've seen him periodically since then too. So it's just very nice to perform alongside people and that you trust, and knowing that they've got your back and want the best for you. And it's just a very positive memory for me. And of course, the Women's Musical Club, they do so many incredible things for young musicians in Manitoba. So they make the experience very comfortable and very enjoyable all throughout as well.
The WMC, like you say, they do so much for young artists here in the province, and I know that they've supported you not only as a solo artist, but also as a chamber musician, as a founding member of the Zyra Trio. So tell us a little bit more about what the WMC means to you as an artist, as a musician.
You know, they mean to me so much. I think they're doing exactly what every young artist needs, which is that they're just providing these opportunities. And when they meet these young artists that they engage with, it's not just merely a, we organize this competition, you compete and we give you the money and that's that. Like, they stay in touch, they check in. Like during the pandemic, they were so accommodating in finding a way for my trio to get together and quarantine and then go through a, you know, whole rehearsal recording process. Like, they follow through with the people that they support, and they really bring their best to the table every time to make sure that they're uplifting young artists. So I think what they're doing is exactly what organizations should be doing. They're spot on.
Yeah, that it most certainly is. You're going to be performing in these finals alongside mezzo-soprano Geneva Halverson and cellist David Liam Roberts, who also happens to be a fellow member of the Zyras. What's that going to be like? You're performing with your colleague, with your friend. Is there some friendly competition there, Greg, or how does that all work?
I don't think so, because David and I, we were in a quartet when I lived in Winnipeg for several years together.
Was that the Chroma Quartet?
The Chroma Quartet.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
This is not our first time, you know, as friends and chamber musicians also doing the same competition together. I mean, for us at this point, like, he lives in Toronto and I'm living in the United States. So like, it's just an opportunity for us to catch up and see each other again. So we have lots of fun together. It'll be nice.
You know what really strikes me about this performance, this WMC McLellan competition, is just this sense of camaraderie, of friendship. Like you say, you get to come back to Winnipeg, you get to reconnect with people you haven't seen in a while. You also get to make some music with colleagues that you know in the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. So I guess, Greg, let me ask you this: what are you going to be performing on Wednesday?
I'm going to be playing Mendelssohn's Violin Concerto, which I'm really excited to perform because it's probably the violin concerto for us. Like, most performed, most beloved by audiences. Maybe Tchaikovsky can fight it on that one, but those two are like the undisputed. And it's been a piece that I've wanted to play my entire life. And my teachers growing up, they just kind of said, wait till you're older, you'll get more out of the piece at that age, you'll enjoy the experience more. So I put off learning it a lot later than most people. And it's just been such an enriching experience working on it. And I love the music so much. So I'm really excited to play it.
So is this going to be the first time you're performing the Mendelssohn Concerto then with orchestra?
It will be, yeah.
Wow.
And I first started working on the concerto back in the fall for the first time. So it's been an incredible experience.
Does it live up to the hype then, if you've waited this long for it?
Yeah. Oh, it definitely lives up to the hype. And I'm glad I waited, because it's hard. Like, a lot of people learn it kind of high school, early undergrad around that age, I think, because so many people look forward to it so much. As soon as they have the technique, they jump on the concerto right away. And I'm glad that I waited, because it's also pretty tricky. So yeah, I'm just having a great time working on it.
And we are going to be the beneficiaries of that joy. It is going to be an awesome performance, I am sure. And I'm looking forward to hearing it in the audience. And Greg, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today at Classic 107. It's been great to catch up.
Yeah, thank you for having me.